Have you ever looked up at a roof and just wondered what's really holding it all together? Well, today we're going to demystify the whole process. We are going to build a complete shingle roof system layer by layer, from the bare wood deck all the way to that final cap on top. So let's dive right in. So, what's the deal? What really separates a roof that lasts for decades from one that leaks after the first big storm? Is it just about buying the most expensive shingles? Nope. The secret isn't in any one single part. It's all about understanding how every piece, from the nails to the stuff underneath, works together as a single water-shedding machine. Here's our game plan, and we're going to follow the exact steps a pro would take. We'll start with the big idea, then we'll build up those crucial protective layers, seal up all the weak spots, lay the main shingles, and finally, put the finishing touches on top. All right, first things first. Let's get our heads around the basic concept here. And don't worry, you don't need an engineering degree for this. The core idea that keeps your house bone dry is actually, well, it's surprisingly simple. This right here, this is the golden rule of roofing. The entire science of a shingle roof, all of it, boils down to one simple concept: overlapping. Every single thing we install from here on out is designed to be layered on top of the piece that came before it. And here's why that is so brilliant. The whole system is designed to use gravity as its biggest ally. Just picture a series of tiny waterfalls. Each layer catches the water and just passes it down to the next one, guiding it safely all the way from the peak of the roof, down the slope, and off the edge. Simple as that. Okay, so theory is great, but let's see how this whole overlapping principle works in practice. We're going to start, of course, from the bottom and work our way up. You know, the shingles get all the attention, but these foundational layers, these are the real unsung heroes of a long-lasting roof. So everything kicks off with a clean, smooth wood deck. Once that's ready, we install the protective layers in a very specific order. First up is a metal drip edge right at the eaves. That's the bottom horizontal edge of the roof. Then comes a special self-sticking membrane called an ice and water shield. And finally, we roll out a synthetic underlayment to cover the rest of the field. So why do we need that special membrane just at the edge? Well, it's to fight this one particular menace, the ice dam. In cold climates, snow melts, runs down, and then refreezes right at the eaves. This creates a literal dam of ice that can force water to flow uphill, right back under your shingles. This sticky membrane creates a waterproof seal that stops that water invasion cold. Now, the details here are absolutely critical. That rule about extending 24 inches inside the exterior wall, that's not a random number. It ensures the barrier goes past the part of the roof that's warmed by the house, which is where that melting happens. And check this out. The membrane goes over the drip edge at the bottom, but it goes under it on the sloped sides. It's a tiny detail, but it makes sure water always has a path out, never a path in. With our base layers down, it's time to deal with the roof's most vulnerable areas. These are the spots where, if a leak is going to happen, it's going to happen here. And they require a special sealing technique. And that technique is called flashing. Think of it like custom-fit metal armor for your roof's weak points. Anywhere something pokes through the roof, a pipe, a chimney, you name it, you need a piece of flashing to basically build a waterproof channel that directs water safely around it. Now, the most critical spot for flashing is where two roof planes come together in a valley. A lot of water rushes through there. A common method is to just weave the shingles together, but honestly, most pros prefer an open metal valley like this. It creates this wide, smooth channel for water, ice, and leaves to just wash right out, which seriously reduces the risk of clogs and leaks down the road. And it's not just the valleys. Every single one of these spots is a potential leak waiting to happen. For example, where a roof runs into a wall, you have to use a technique called step flashing. This is where you weave individual L-shaped pieces of metal in with each and every row of shingles, creating that perfect, continuous overlapping barrier. And now, for the main event. With our foundation set and our armor in place, it is time to lay the shingles themselves, the roof's primary shield against whatever the weather throws at it. But wait, we don't just start with a regular shingle. We start with this, a starter strip. It's a special first course that has this really aggressive adhesive strip. It does two critical things. First, it glues down the front edge of that first row of shingles so the wind can't lift them up. And second, it covers the tiny little gaps between the shingle cutouts. Okay, pay close attention because this step is absolutely non-negotiable. You can't just line shingles up in neat vertical columns. You have to stagger the seams on every single row. This specific cutting pattern makes sure that no joint ever lines up with the one in the row below it. This completely eliminates any straight line path for water to get through. You can have the best shingles on the planet, but they are totally useless if they're not nailed on right. And the key is precision. If you underdrive the nail, the head sticks up and can literally rip a hole in the shingle above it. If you overdrive it, you blast right through the shingle you're trying to hold down. It has to be perfectly flush. It's a feel you develop. And if you live in a place that gets serious wind, the standard 4 nails per shingle just won't cut it. The requirement bumps up to 6 nails per shingle. That extra fastening power is what gives the roof maximum resistance against being peeled back by the wind. All right, we have covered the field, we've made it to the top, we're on the home stretch now. It's time for the finishing touches that really complete the system and give the whole roof that clean, polished look. So you can't just take a regular shingle and fold it over the peak of the roof. It would crack and break almost immediately. Instead, you use these specially made hip and ridge caps. They're built to be thicker and way more flexible, so they can bend over that sharp peak and protect the roof's final, most exposed seam. And yep, you guessed it, there's a system here too. You overlap the caps so they face away from the prevailing wind. And because the nails here have to punch through the cap and the shingles underneath, you've got to use longer nails to get a really solid bite into the wood deck. And with that last nail head sealed up with a dab of roof cement, the entire system is complete. As we've seen, it's a process that really demands precision at every single layer. But the result is a roof that isn't just nice to look at, it's a fortress against the elements. So, I'll leave you with this final thought to chew on. What's a roof's first line of defense? Is it the shingle, the underlayment, the flashing? The real answer, as we've seen today, is all of it. The first and only line of defense is the entire system, working together as one. Every single layer has a critical job to do.